In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a 3D rendering of the orthographic drawings you've done so far. To begin, you're going to actually create two additional layers. One will be called 3D, and the other one will be called Guides. Following this, you're going to begin tracing an existing drawing in order to move on to the 3D rendering. So let's zoom in on the top view. Make sure that the layer you're working on is 3D. Select your polyline tool and begin tracing your exterior box. So click in the corner, go across, and if you look at your drawing, this has a distance of 100. And then you come down and it's 110. And then you come across, it's 100, and then up 110. And then hit spacebar to trim. Okay, now what you want to do is turn off the objects layer. This way we can see what we have remaining. We can see our new 3D box. Now we're going to move it over to the space to the right. So I'm just going to zoom out ever so slightly here. Okay. I will select the Move tool. Now with your PCs, when you click in the top corner, you will see a dotted line that allows you to move your object to the right. I'm on a Mac, it's a little bit different. I select my object, hit enter, select the corner, and pull across, and then I see the dotted line. Okay, now that we've moved that, we can move on to the next step. One of the first things you want to do is change your perspective. So we're going to change this to southeast isometric. And that allows us to see the 3D space that we're working within. The other thing I might want to do is turn objects back on so I can see the drawings on the side. And before we go any further with this, it's important that we are in the correct workspace. So up here, we've been working in a 2D wireframe space. We actually want to change that to wireframe. And you know you're in the correct setup when you see the X, Y, and Z axis in color, as opposed to being just black and white. Okay, we're going to select our box, which is the base of the Lego block, and find Extrude. Yours is along the top. If you can't find it, just type in Extrude. That's the beauty of AutoCAD. You can just type everything in. If you look at the chart that's been handed out, you'll see that the height of this is 100. Now, before we go any further with creating shapes, we have to add some guides. So we're going to go up here and change the guide, change the layer to guides. So come down here, and then we go back to our line tool. You find the center, pull it over, and it doesn't have to extend past like the other ones. You can keep it within the box if you like. Hit spacebar to repeat the command. And we also want to do it on this side. Remember, if you don't see that triangle, you have to turn it on under OSNAP. Okay. And at the top, if you look at the top view, there's an indent area there between the very edge and the box that surrounds the circle, and it's 10 units. So what we'll do is we'll create another guideline here. It just extends in 10 and hit spacebar. So, oh, something did not work there. Let's make sure that that's working. We click on here There it is, type 10. Okay, there we've got our guide. Okay. Now we can add the circle that you see on the right side view, okay? So we go up to here, we grab the circle tool, and we click in the center. You're going to see something that happens. It might not happen on the PC, it always happens on the Mac. So I click here, and I type in 45, and I hit enter. So my circle is in the wrong plane, and I need to correct that. So there's this command on a PC, type in rotate gizmo, I believe it is, or gizmo rotate, it's one of those. On a Mac, it's actually this guy down here, which typed in would be 3D rotate. It's a different term that's being used. I don't know why they differ. So I'm going to click on the circle and click on this icon, and I get this strange three-dimensional kind of futuristic looking image that pops up. What I want to do is tilt the circle that I've created upwards. So we have a couple options. This is where it gets a bit confusing because you have the red ring and you have the green ring. It could be a bit of a guessing game, but if you want it to align with the green one and you hit 90 degrees, oops, something happened here. Let's click on here. Bring up the, I'll call it the gizmo. Let's click on the yellow one, 90, there we go. And if I say escape, you can see the circle's in the correct center space. So because of the XYZ plane that we're on, it's a bit confusing. You might have to do it a couple of times, you know, Control Z, undo, go back, redo, until you find the right visual plane that it should be sitting on. Here's where you get to play around with the 3D tools. So I'm going to click on the circle to select it. And I'm going to select this icon called Extrude. And as you can see, it just zooms out to wherever your mouse is situated. At this point, you can throw this anywhere. You can sit it out here if you like. So you click your mouse and it's sitting way out. Now what we want to do is subtract this cylinder from the cube so that it's hollow. This is a little bit hard to wrap one's head around. It's a bit counterintuitive the way it's said, but follow along and you'll get the hang of it. You want to, and on your computer, it's actually under solid editing along the toolbar up here. It's called subtract. But for me, I haven't set up my toolbar to include it, so I have to go under modify, solid editing, subtract. So there's different ways to do it. And I'm going to click on the box. Even though I'm not subtracting the box, it's designating that this is the original space that we're working within. So I hit enter. But I want to subtract the cylinder from that space. So I click on that and I hit enter. You can't see it under wireframe mode, so I'm just going to change it back to, or change it to shades of gray. So now you can see that it's hollow. And if I rotate this around, you can see through it. Okay. All right. So now that we've done that, we can move forward with creating the piece that extends off the side. So once again, we need to have another circular circle. I'll select the circle here. Oh, I'm going to go back to wireframe mode actually. It's a lot easier to work in. There we go. Circle. Click. And this one is the outer one. So this one would be 45. And once again, it's in the wrong visual plane. So we have to go back to here. Sorry, I just have to select it first. There we go. Now to lift this up, I think I need to tell it to go 90 degrees from this point. Let's give that a try. Nope, like I said, it's a bit of a guessing game. There we go. Okay. And then sometimes you just simply click on the wrong ring, so it could take a couple of attempts. Now we want to extrude this one out as well. So I'm going to select the circle, extrude, and this time we have a precise measurement. So this would be 30. Hit enter. Okay, and now there's an interior circle that you can see in the front view here that needs to be added on. It's another circle. I'm just going to go to my circle tool here and find that little plus, click on it, and put in 40. Once again, it's incorrect. So we go down to Gizmo for you guys. And I'm going to click on here. Sorry, I did the wrong order. Let's go back to here. There we go. Okay. Before I proceed with the the subtraction, I should point out that I made an error, something that easily happens when you're in the flow of working. So our circles here are actually objects. They're 3D objects. They're not guides. So I had to just change what layer they're on. So I'm going to click on guides and change it to 3D. And same with the interior. So we don't get any confusion there. Okay, so now that we have this extrude, we have to indent this. So I'm going to select the interior circle, and we're going to use the extrude command, but we're going in. So, oh, sorry, hit enter. And we are going in. If you look at the hidden line, it is 20. And hit enter. Okay, now we can do our subtraction. So I select the exterior, actually I go up to, hold on one second, I feel like this is back on my guides layer. Just gonna make sure, yeah it is. Make sure that's 3D. Okay, so up to modify, solve, editing, subtract. And I want to keep the outside, hit enter. And I want to subtract the inside, hit enter. Now you can't see it until we go into shades of gray. Looks good so far. Now we're going to add the top of the Lego block. So the first thing we have to do is get the polyline tool. Polyline tool is used for solid objects that you're going to extrude. If you don't use this, then it's not a solid fill. So let's grab that. And we're going to find our guide that we used. And I can zoom in a little bit so it's easier to see. So there's the end. And if you look at the diagram, it is 40 across. Enter. And then it's 80, 80, and 80, and then 40 to close it. Okay. And as you can see, we have to fillet the edge. So that is done a couple of ways. You can type in fillet, or you can just select it here. So when you select it, before you click on anything, you type R for radius and 10 for the degree. Okay. Now you click on a line, and hit spacebar to repeat the command, the last command you used, and hit spacebar. And the last corner. Okay, so we've created that shape. Now we have to enlarge it. So we're going to click on modeling here on a Mac. You would have it up at the top on your PC. And I'm going to select Extrude, enter, and pull it up. So the height of this is 60. Okay, if I were to show this to you in shades of gray, you can see it's solid, which is how it should look. So let's go back to wireframe. It's easier to work in that space. Now what we want to do is create those guidelines. So don't forget to go to guides so that you're on the correct layer and get your line tool. Find your center point, bring it across. Hit spacebar to repeat the last command and bring it across. Okay, and then we need our circle tool. Click in the center, pull it out. Oh good, this one's working. 35. Okay, perfect. Just going to change this back to the 3D layer. Okay, now we want to extrude this. So we're going to click on this, click on our circle, hit enter, and this time it comes down 25 units. Hit enter. Okay, and now we need to subtract that shape from the exterior solid shape. So we go to, for you, it's just along the top. For me, it's down here, solid editing, subtract. I select my outside shape, hit enter, and then my interior shape, hit enter. If I were to go to shades gray, you would see that it's indented. So that is our Lego block. You can see if you have completed this correctly by also viewing it in, exit out of there, the the top view. And if you put this into X-ray mode, you can see your hidden lines are here. It's identical to the top view on your diagram, and this is where your hidden line is on the top and bottom. And that those hidden lines indicate where your indents are. Like this is the tube that runs through the hollow interior, and then this is the indented area on the side of the Lego block. In the next video, I'm going to demonstrate how to do dimensions when you're working with a 3D space. It's a little bit tricky, and I'll save that for the next time.